You could never convince a monkey to give you a banana by promising him limitless bananas after death in monkey heaven. How do you cause people to believe in an imagined order such as Christianity, democracy, or capitalism? First, you never admit that the order is imagined. One of history's few iron laws is that luxuries tend to become necessities and to spawn new obligations. Consistency is the playground of dull minds. History is something that very few people have been doing while everyone else was plowing fields and carrying water buckets. Biology enables, culture forbids. We did not domesticate wheat, it domesticated us. This is the essence of the agricultural revolution, the ability to keep more people alive under worse conditions. Money is the most universal and most efficient system of mutual trust ever devised. Is there anything more dangerous than dissatisfied and irresponsible gods who don't know what they want? Each year, the U.S. population spends more money on diets than the amount needed to feed all the hungry people in the rest of the world. There are no gods, no nations, no money, and no human rights, except in our collective imagination. In order to change an existing imagined order, we must first believe in an alternative imagined order. Our DNA still thinks we are in the savannah. Most sociopolitical hierarchies lack a logical or biological basis. They are nothing but the perpetuation of chance events supported by myths. Poverty, sickness, wars, famines, old age, and death itself were not the inevitable fate of humankind. They were simply the fruits of our ignorance. We are full of fears and anxieties over our position, which makes us doubly cruel and dangerous. Romanticism, which encourages variety, meshes perfectly with consumerism. When we break down our prison walls and run towards freedom, we are in fact running into the more spacious exercise yard of a bigger prison. Whatever is possible is by definition also natural. Homo sapiens has no natural rights, just as spiders, hyenas, and chimpanzees have no natural rights. The first principle of monotheist religions is God exists. What does he want from me? The first principle of Buddhism is suffering exists. How do I escape it? It is an iron rule of history that what looks inevitable in hindsight was far from obvious at the time. Gender is a race in which some of the runners compete only for the bronze medal. Earlier traditions usually formulated their theories in terms of stories. Modern science uses mathematics. Christians slaughtered Christians by the millions to defend slightly different interpretations of the religion of love and compassion. Many call this process the destruction of nature, but it's not really destruction, it's change. Nature cannot be destroyed. It takes a tribe to raise a human. Imagined orders are not evil conspiracies or useless mirages. Rather, they are the only way large numbers of humans can cooperate effectively. A new branch of mathematics was developed over the last 200 years to deal with the more complex aspects of reality, statistics. Cultures are mental parasites that emerge accidentally and thereafter take advantage of all people infected by them. Homo sapiens look like an ecological serial killer. How long can we maintain the wall separating the Department of Biology from the departments of law and political science? A person who does not crave cannot suffer. They were too familiar to ignore, but too different to tolerate. The real difference between us and chimpanzees is the mythical glue that binds together large numbers of individuals, families, and groups. Tolerance is not a sapiens trademark. Science needs more than just research to make progress. It depends on the mutual reinforcement of science, politics, and economics. For real peace is not the mere absence of war. Real peace is the implausibility of war. There has never been real peace in the world. An empire that cannot sustain a blow and remain standing is not really an empire. Telling effective stories is not easy. The difficulty lies not in telling the story, but in convincing everyone else to believe it. There is some evidence that the size of the average sapiens brain has actually decreased since the age of foraging. Social cooperation is our key for survival and reproduction. Religion can thus be defined as a system of human norms and values that is founded on a belief in a superhuman order. Monkeys must have psychological needs and desires that go beyond their material requirements, and if these are not fulfilled, they will suffer greatly. 1-on-1, even 10-on-10, we are embarrassingly similar to chimpanzees. Successful cultures are those that excel in reproducing their means, irrespective of the costs and benefits to their human hosts. People who do not believe in the same God or obey the same king are more than willing to use the same money. Our once green and blue planet is becoming a concrete and plastic shopping center. In fact, in the first recorded encounter between sapiens and Neanderthals, the Neanderthals won. Why is English so widespread today and not Danish? Evolutionary pressures have adapted the human brain to store immense quantities of botanical, zoological, topographical, and social information. A single priest often does the work of 100 soldiers, far more cheaply and effectively. Modern-day science is a unique tradition of knowledge, inasmuch as it openly admits collective ignorance regarding the most important questions. But the most important information that needed to be conveyed was about humans, not about lions and bison. Our language evolved as a way of gossiping. If we accept a mere tenth of what animal rights activists are claiming, then modern industrial agriculture might well be the greatest crime in history. So perhaps happiness is synchronizing one's personal delusions of meaning with the prevailing collective delusions. An empire that cannot sustain a blow and remain standing is not really an empire. The dog was the first animal domesticated by Homo sapiens, and this occurred before the agricultural revolution.